Hey, okay, so I just got out of the doctor's appointment with my cardiologist, and it reminded me of how this all started for me. Because you see, in 2020, I wasn't sure that I was going to get my someday. I thought, oh, great, your time's up, you've run out, and now all those things that you wanted to do, well, too bad, because there's no way now. And, for me, a lot of the things that I wanted to do was to be active, to enjoy life, to get out and to do things. And I found out that I maybe would have to think about not doing any of those things. My family, my mom died, and there was a trip that I went on with her, with my dad, and it was one I wanted to recreate for my family. And it turned out that it was just me and the kids, that I would be taking them by myself. And it was to the Oregon coast. I love Oregon, love the coast. And I was really excited about this trip and the memories, getting a chance to relive those memories I shared with my mom and dad. Couldn't wait. And as we were at DIA, Denver International Airport, the kids and I were going up the escalator, and I had a backpack on my back. I had a ginormous suitcase in front of me. I probably had a coat or something in my hands. And as we got to the top of the escalator at the entrance from the parking garages, all of a sudden I decided to look up. There must have been some kind of art or something I wanted to see. I looked up, and before I knew it, I lost all sense of balance. I didn't know which way was up, and I was facing up, and I was going backwards down the escalator at DIA. It's kind of like a concert in a mosh pit, only the people behind me, they weren't ready to catch me. I've never actually done that, but it's what I imagine. It was definitely the trust fall no one saw coming, and no one could catch me for, even my kids. Now I heard the people behind me saying, help her, as I took out scores of people on my way back. And I remember I finally was down as the escalator continued to go. I kind of crawled my way off eventually, still not knowing which way was up. I was so dizzy and disoriented. And I crawled off, my little turtle that I felt like I was, that had been stuck on its shell. I sat there and I was like, great. I totally had no control over my body. What would make me have that happen? It was so scary and disheartening, and I still had a trip. I still had a week's worth of fun planned and adventure that I and they for sure weren't sure it was actually going to happen. It did happen, and I, as usual, put on a brave face, said, "Oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, that was fine. Everything's fine." And it was, it wasn't without a bit of bruising and pain. But really, seriously? So we go out on all of our adventures, and I started to have the good sense to not try to put myself in situations where my family would have to, hire a crane to get me out of, as, like hiking down to a beach where I could probably fall down easier than hike down and probably couldn't get back up. It was a complete fail on my body's part. I couldn't. There's been times where I thought I could just gut my way through things. Do it ugly, just get your way through it and it would be fine. And there wasn't any chance I could make any of that work. So it started me on my journey. I thought, no, someday for me, all those plans we kept saying, wait till I retire, wait till we have more money, wait till we have more time. I wasn't going to get that. What was I going to do? Was I just going to have to sit down so that the world wouldn't spin off its axis and just, be still? What was going on with me? And asking that question led me to doctors to find out, well, what is going on with me? And I saw a physical therapist that just made a huge difference. My cardiologist, huge difference. And before I knew it, I was able to do things again, slowly but surely. And that's what this whole thing has been. I know that time is slipping away from me, from all of us. I'm in no danger. I can balance properly now. My body is not out to get me anymore. I've listened to it. We're working together as a team now. I think we should all be reissued owner's manuals because, the ones that we had from childhood, those didn't include a lot of these things that we go through. I need a new one, please. But, really, am I going to read this one either? No. So that's fine. I'll learn as I go. But now we're a team and we're working together, this body and me. And even though I still will get so excited by new things that I'm sure going to get an overuse injury. But I learn more about my body. I learn how to listen to it and say, oh, great. Well, it was probably the thing that you loved this week and you couldn't stop doing. Yeah, that's probably the thing that is giving you trouble. Maybe you don't do it as much and let's fix this. And then it's on to my next great adventure. But I think some takeaways for this is to say, hey, our someday really is now. And we don't know if the things that we have planned will ever get to do. So whether we have to do it with our limited money and adapt it to something that we can actually do, or maybe we don't have enough time. So how can we break it down into things that we can do? Or what are some short time costing things that we could find that will keep us occupied and give us kind of a fire and a passion for life? Because we shouldn't just survive life, really. We should live it wholeheartedly and we should take part in it and we should show up for it. It's hard to do. It can be so discouraging. But that's where, if we look for the good in each day, if we look for the lesson in each day, all those things, if we connect with our senses and ground ourselves, if we get medical treatment and not ignore our body, if we try to work with it and realize that we are capable of so much and so much fun, all we need to do is realize our some days now and to go ahead and show up in it for ourselves, not because it's a role or responsibility to somebody else, but because it's something that we want to do for us. It's not just self-care, it's participation. It's doing what you want to do. You may have to do it alone, but that's okay. Because being alone, getting to know who you are and liking that person, I think that's one of our biggest goals in our 50s and beyond. Although I think we get kinder, hopefully, as we go. We have to unlearn several things we've learned about ourselves or thought about ourselves that had no basis in truth. So get out there, live your life, show up, learn who you are, learn about your body, how it works, and do things for you. Realize your someday. It's now. See you soon. Oh, please like and leave a comment. Subscribe, please. Thanks. Bye.